I'm Davy, and I'm awesome! And welcome to Davy's Awesome Stories, where I tell funny stories from my past or go on a rant in an effort to make you laugh. So this week I'm going to be revisiting an older story that I told before about the way people react over carding them to buy cigarettes or alcohol. Grown people who should know better and just have IDs throw the biggest hissy fits. Now, one thing I like about telling these stories about my retail annoyances is that I do also get a lot of people watching the videos and then coming up to me later and coming up to talk to me about it, like, yeah, I went through that or something like that, and this is what happened to me. And the thing is, I've been in retail so long that I've yet to have somebody say something to me that I have not personally dealt with, which means in the future I'm sure I'm going to be able to do more of these. But today I'm going to give you 3 more things that I would hear with people freaking out over being asked to show some ID, like an adult. See, another famous one that I've heard a lot in my time, when buying alcohol, would be somebody telling me, they've never carded me before. That is one of those ones that, yes, we all hear a lot. They've never carded me before. They've never carded me before. Basically, this person insinuating that every time they've come into this particular store, they've bought alcohol and no one ever carded them. Especially the people who sit there and say, I come in here all the time. They've never carded me. Or even take it a step further by saying, I've been coming here for years. They've never carded me. Now here's how long you can tell somebody's been doing this job, based on other people working there, wondering, how could this be? How could this person, who is a regular, who's been coming here all these years, never have been carded? Well, I have thought about this painstakingly. I have thought about this and thought about this and thought about this and come down to a reason, a definite conclusion on how it is possible that they have been coming in here all the time for years and never been carded. And that is this. They're lying. Duh! Because the funny thing is, I've had people say that to me who I know I've carded because they said this to me last time I carded them. No joke, there have been plenty of times that somebody has come in, I've asked them for ID, and they've looked right at me and said, no one has ever carded me here at this store. And while going through the motions of, well, I'm sorry, but if you don't look over a certain age, I have to ask for ID. And once it's been asked for, it has to be shown. Nothing I can do about it. I need to see your ID. And I will say, the most annoying thing is when they have the ID. They just don't want to show it to me based on their principles. Based on the fact that they don't feel like they should have to. Like, they don't have ID, I kind of get it. They're trying to talk me into letting them around it because they forgot their ID. But when you have it, why are you arguing with me? Just pull the frickin' ID out and show it to me. What, do you think I'm going to take a picture of it right in front of you? Don't worry. Even if I was good enough to steal your ID and try to pass it off of myself, I don't think anybody's going to buy that I'm a short little Asian woman. Besides, let's face it, if I was really that talented to where I could steal your ID and all your information just by a quick glance, I wouldn't be working here. But then these same people will come in like a week or 2 later, forget I was the one they dealt with last time, and again say to me, I've been coming here for years, and no one has ever carded me until today. Until you. Now, the first couple times this happened to me, I just ignored it and let them pretend that I was not the person that they said this to last time that carded them. But, yeah, after a while it gets to a point where I don't even hide it. I'm just like, really? Because I carded you a week ago and you said the same thing. And come to think of it, I remember you going to that person's line the time before that and he carded you and you said the same thing to them. And even the lady in the register behind me says, yeah, every time she comes in here, she tells me she's never been carded here. Yet I card her every time. Are you calling me a liar? Yes. Now, yes, I did get in a little bit of trouble for that one, just a little bit, because apparently you can't tell them that you think they're lying, no matter how much smoke is coming from their pants. Another gem that I loved was when you'd get that person in there, they're buying alcohol. They don't look above the age you have to look for me to leave you alone. So again, I just ask simply, and may I see your ID, please? And they would respond with this juicy little number. No, I'm old enough. You don't have to card me. Actually, yes, I do. Because there is an age you have to look over for me not to card you, and you don't look reasonably over that age. No, you don't. And I know that because I used to work here. Yeah, I could use that on just an annoying customer playlist. The I used to work here, which means that I get to do whatever I want, even though you clearly either didn't used to work here or you did used to work here, and you seem to think that telling us that means we're going to do something about it. Like, I do love that one. I love it when they're trying to get what they want by saying, that's not your policy, I used to work here. Well, you don't now. I'm sorry they haven't kept you updated about the policy since you quit, but this is the policy. And what's funny is when I would get that from somebody that I know used to work here, because I worked here before they worked here, and I continue to work here after they work here. And this particular incident where somebody said that to me, no, I don't have to card them because they used to work here and they know better, I promptly responded with, I know you used to work here. I remember you. And if you had followed the carding policy, you'd still work here. They tried to get me in trouble for that one, but even the boss was like, well, yeah. Person got fired because they weren't carding people. People do get fired for that. By the way, just a quick one. Once or twice I've heard people tell me that they don't care if I get fired for carding them. Screw you. But then one that I probably think I've heard the most. Surprised I haven't talked more about this one. Just because it's the stupidest reason for me not to card you that I've ever heard. And that is that moment we card somebody, and they swear that they're old enough, but we can't accept that. They have something other than an actual ID, but we can't accept it. Or maybe they're there with somebody who potentially is underage and they don't have ID, but they do. But I have literally more than once, more than twice, more than 3 times, probably almost 20 years ago when I started working retail is when I lost count on how many times I'd heard this little one. That the reason that we don't have to card you is this. You don't need to card me because it's a stupid rule. Oh, wow, I wish I was making that one up, but you have absolutely no idea how many times I've heard people legit tell me that I don't need to card them because the rule is stupid. No other reason. In their opinion, the rule is stupid and obnoxious and silly. Therefore, me, the worker, who had a boss, 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 I said, yes, you do. That all that can be obliterated because you think that this rule is stupid. No, I still have to card you regardless of how you feel about that rule. And yes, I've had the follow-up to where when I've told them that I'm sorry, but just because you think it is a stupid rule doesn't mean I don't have to do it. I still need to card you. That juicy little gem that literally everybody who's ever worked 5 minutes of retail hates. Well, I say it's a stupid rule, and the customer is always right. If I could accomplish one thing in this world, just one thing, and die happy, it would be to get people to stop saying the customer is always right. Because the truth of the matter is, the customer is very rarely right. I guarantee you that whoever it was that made up that stupid rule never one day in their life served a customer. May you rot in hell. So there you have it. That's our story video this week. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, make sure to hit like, hit subscribe, hit that little bell so you get notifications for when I post my videos, and leave a comment. If you've worked in retail, tell me some other reasons that people have come up with as to why they shouldn't have to show ID. Love you guys.